Imagine this, that you have an urgent medical care issue or you're waiting months for your VA disability benefits to be approved. Then just when you think things could get even slower, out of the blue, they will get slower. Why? Because the Department of Veterans Affairs just laid off 1,000 employees, many of whom were responsible for processing claims, scheduling medical appointments, or helping veterans like you get the care and benefits that you rightly deserve. Hey, this is Russ from Veteran Experience. If you find this content valuable, please like, subscribe, send it out to other veterans. I appreciate you watching the video to the end because this allows us to get our content out to more people like you who need this information. Let's get into it. This isn't just some routine workforce change. This decision could directly affect millions of veterans like you. So what does this really mean for you? Will it lead to even longer delays? Will it make healthcare harder to access? Or how could the VA actually make things more efficient with the money they're saving? Well, just a little bit about me. I've worked 20 years in operations, and I've worked the last 10 years in process improvement for corporations that had gross sales of $400 million. So part of this is going to be me sharing from my experience what it looks like when you have layoffs and employment reduction and how that affects the company, the psyche, and overall effectiveness that you receive as a customer day to day. So let's get into it. The immediate impact will be disruption of service. Here is the reality of over 1,000 VA employees that are gone. Most of them were on probation status, but doesn't mean they weren't important. And it doesn't mean they weren't doing a great job. It just means that the timeline of their employment was still under the probational status. So what does that mean for you? Listen, veterans benefits are slowing down. This is a reality. The VA already has a backlog of disability claims, appeals, and pensions. Now the fewer employees that are there that will handle different aspects of the VA will ultimately affect the claims process. If you're waiting on a claim decision, be prepared. It may take longer than expected. If you're planning to file a new claim, don't wait. Get it in ASAP before the backlog grows even more. Medical appointments could be harder to book. Now you might say, well, I don't think it's going to be harder to book. I just waited on the line this week for 25 minutes to get an answer to a very simple question, whether it was shortage of staff or not knowing what the answer was. And this will increase. This would be more frequent of an experience for veterans calling in to the VA. Many of these layoffs affected scheduling staff, meaning that it's going to be more difficult to book an appointment or reschedule an appointment for the VA because of the lack of staff. Doctors and nurses who should be focusing strictly on patient care will have to now take on a little bit of this administrative workload that they didn't have to do before, making their jobs more difficult and longer to complete a day. Expect delays, especially if you're calling in for administrative answers. This isn't just speculation. It's already happening. The VA facilities across the country are reporting higher workloads for remaining staff. More errors and delays will increase. Frustrations will increase for veterans and employees that are remaining. So what can you do? I would recommend file your claim. If you have a claim, do it today. Follow up aggressively. Don't assume your claim is being processed quickly. Plan ahead for medical care. Schedule early and be prepared for delays. And that leads us to the big question. If the VA is saving $98 million by cutting jobs, where's that money going? Well, here's where I think it could go and benefit the VA and the veterans. The VA is saying that the layoffs will streamline operations and cut unnecessary costs, up to $98 million worth of savings. And they're going to reinvest this in automation, digital claim processing, and workforce training. Sounds promising, right? Well, let's take a closer look at that. The good news is automation could speed up claims. AI-driven claims processing could reduce backlogs by handling repetitive tasks quicker than an employee. But let's not jump ahead of the AI, because we saw what AI did with United Healthcare, where the AI system that they had implemented was denying people who rightly deserve treatment based on a set criteria that they had set, which caused instant denials, longer time to get approved, and some people in United Healthcare actually passed away before they received the care they needed. This is what could happen to the VA if it's not implemented correctly and there aren't safeguards put on the AI system. This is the bad news. A leaner workforce means more problems. AI automation only works if the system is built correctly. And the VA doesn't exactly have a great track record with tech rollouts. With fewer staff, who's going to fix the inevitable issues? Who's going to watch for the wrong denials and correct those? There will be fewer people in the process to do this kind of work. Here's a reality check. If the VA doesn't reinvest the savings properly, veterans could and possibly will face worse service disruptions. What you can do right now is stay informed, track your VA policy claim, be in touch with your medical staff at your local center, use digital tools where possible like My Healthy Vet or VA.gov to track claims and track your appointments. And ultimately, here is the big one, you need to advocate for yourself. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. So what happens when morale drops, employees quit, and the VA struggles to hire? The problem would get worse. Employee retention and talent gaps will be the results of layoffs. When a company lays off, in my experience, the company loses its image of stability. And when a company doesn't have the image of stability, your top performing employees seek employment elsewhere. Lower morale would equal higher turnover. More employees would quit voluntarily in the coming months, leaving the staff that was currently there even more stressed and stretched to accomplish the mission of the VA. And this struggle will be felt by each one of us who use the service of the Veterans Administration. This means that veterans will be experiencing longer delays, more headaches, and lack of services acquired due to the short staffing issue. Medical professionals may leave as well, which could mean fewer doctors. I want you to look at this graph here that I'm posting of the income of the VA physician. Now, and look at this one, which shows the income of a private physician. The difference in pay is almost double. If I'm a VA doctor and I feel that VA is becoming unstable, I'm already working for less than market value. Why would I, as a top performing physician, stay in an underpaid VA system? This is a serious question. When the top performing doctors leave the VA system, that means the health care that you and I receive as veterans will be subpar and maybe even inadequate for our complex medical injuries. But what can you do? Well, this is just not a policy change. This is something that directly will impact you as a veteran. So what you can do, file your claim as soon as possible, follow up where you can aggressively, and plan ahead for your medical care. Stay informed and speak up. Call your representatives. Let your voice be heard. You are your best advocate for the service you need in the VA system. The more awareness we have on what's going on in the VA, and as we spread this to other veterans, ask them and encourage them to get engaged, stay informed, and make their voices heard, that we would do what's best for veterans across this nation. Hey, this is Russ from Veteran Experience. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, send it out to other veterans. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end, and do what we always say around here: keep fighting for what you deserve.